Hello everybody and welcome back to another EPO video. Today we are going to be taking an updated look at the official EP polling average for the Georgia Senate runoff scheduled for January 5th, 2021. We do have 3 new polls to add from 538 to the EP spreadsheet here. And early voting started a few days ago in Georgia, with turnout looking likely to be off the charts for a runoff election thus far. In fact, the first day of early voting in Georgia on Monday saw 168,000 in-person ballots cast, which is up from the 136,000 cast on the first day of in-person early voting for the general election back in October. Then on the second day on Tuesday, 167,000 people voted in person, which was right up there with the first day, and when compared to the general election, only 129,000 people voted on the second day of early voting. So that is about 28,000 less ballots. Those numbers themselves are pretty staggering, although it is equally important to keep in mind that the holiday season is still very much ahead of us. And it is very likely that early voting will be down on and around Christmas Day compared to where it was on the equivalent day for early voting for the general election in late October. However, there will also of course be absentee ballots and in-person election day votes that will determine just how high turnout is, but it should be expected that it will not reach general election numbers, as runoffs never really do. And I honestly don't expect it to be all that close for a number of factors. Although overall, the higher the turnout, the better for Democrats, and the lower the turnout, the better for Republicans. And so the numbers we have seen so far can only be interpreted as a positive for Jon Ossoff and Raphael Warnock. Speaking of the Democratic candidates, let's head over to the EP official spreadsheet, where both Jon Ossoff and Raphael Warnock lead their Republican opponents David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler in the updated EP polling average. In the regular Senate runoff, Jon Ossoff is up 0.1% from when we last checked in, and David Perdue is down 0.15 points, which has eliminated his very slim 0.07% lead from the last update. Jon Ossoff now holds an average of 48.52% in the weighted average to David Perdue's 48.34%. That is a 0.18% lead, and as for the unweighted average, which does not take recency or grade of polls into account, Ossoff holds a slightly larger lead at 48.5% to Perdue's 48.17%. As for the special election, Warnock's lead has actually shrunk. If you have some kind of incredible memory, you would remember that he led Loeffler by 2.52% in the last update. But as things stand right now, his weighted lead is 1.47%, almost a full point down. Raphael Warnock has garnered an average of 48.68% of support, only 0.16% above Ossoff at 48.52%, but Kelly Loeffler has only won an average of 47.21%, which is over a full percent lower than her senior David Perdue. Nevertheless, there are 3 new polls that you can see on the left-hand side, including Insider Advantage and Trafalgar Group, who were also included in the previous average, but they have conducted newer polls since, and then there is newcomer Fabricio Ward, which actually does not have a grade on 538, and thus their weight is the lowest of all of the polls. Anyways, Kelly Loeffler led in 2 of those 3 new polls, and she only trailed Warnock by 1% in the other. This has almost certainly made up for her rather large deficits in the Data for Progress and Survey USA polls from a few weeks ago. As for the regular election between Perdue and Ossoff, though, each candidate led in 1, while the other was a tie. And while the Democrats do lead in both races, they are still very much in the margin of error, and at this point could very well go either way. Do make sure that you remember, for the Democrats to win control of the United States Senate and remove Mitch McConnell from his majority leadership position, both Warnock and Ossoff must win. The Republicans, on the other hand, only need to win one of these 2 races in order to retain control with at least 51 seats. Let me know what you guys think of these averages and the 2 races in general and the candidates in them in the comment section down below. I am hoping that we can get some more high-graded polls in the next 2 weeks or so that will start to pull a lot more weight in this average. But until then, keep your eye on the early voting turnout as an indication of just how much excitement and energy there is on both sides of the aisle. I will be making a video in the coming days taking a look at specific demographics and what to watch for in the early totals and on election day data-wise to make an estimated guess on which way these races will lean. I hope you all enjoyed this updated Georgia runoff polling video and analysis though. Make sure to like it down below if you did, as well as subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you all so much for watching. Check out more content from my channel here, and as always, tune in next time. EP out.